So today was by far one of the greatest trading days in 2022. If you were to buy Tesla or SPY put options, betting on these to go down on the morning spikes at the major resistance, and if you were patient, today's the day where you could have turned $2,000 into $10,000 to $15,000 using the gap close reversal strategy. I want to give a big shout out to myself for preparing members within Trader Society in terms of the watch list. As you can see right here at 9:25 a.m., I had stated to buy Tesla puts at $1,091 for the gap close reversal. The price target is $1,060. This was the greatest trade I had today in terms of the trading day. I made 4 trades. I'm 3 for 4. As you can see at 9:53 a.m., I alerted the $1,085 out of money strike. That was about 2 points out of the money at the time when I bought these, and I got in at 16.20. The low was 14.20. And the high on those was $85. I sold way too soon for a 35% profit return because I'm going big on these and I like to lock in my profits. But I want to give a big shout out to some students within Trader Society because they absolutely crushed it today. Alvin ended up making a 42% return on his portfolio, and he gave a shout out to Trader Society for all the help and advice that the members have been giving him. Couldn't have done it without us. Congratulations on that. I want to give a big shout out to Buster, 36% return on the SPY puts, and I got to give a big shout out to Vic. Like I said, today was one of those big days where if you were patient, I called out the phenomenal entries. I sold way too soon, but I like locking in my profits. That's what I like doing. I don't like giving back profit. But Vic ended up being very, very patient. And as you could see in his Webull portfolio, he ended up making 153% profit return, or $8,500 profit on his account, which is more than 21 times the cost of this lifetime membership to Trader Society. Absolutely crushing it. Another banner day thanks to William Carmen. Call out on the Tesla gap close reversal. He's done for the day. Account is growing and on the way towards his goal, which is to make 100K. Big shout out to Jay. Ended up making 173% profit return on Tesla puts. I believe Vic made a 200% profit return on Tesla puts as well. You could see right here, he was buying the Tesla puts at 16.45, literally at my entry, and he sold at $49.30. Imagine turning $1,600 into $4,900 in just a couple hours trading. Absolutely insane. So I got to give a big shout out to Alvin, killing it again with QQQ. Wow, very nicely done. C1 Lee. Big shout out to my guy Lee right here. Check this out. His portfolio is up 500% on the day, making an $8,400 profit, more than 21 times the cost of the lifetime membership within Trader Society. Absolutely killing it with the puts. Congratulations, man. That's a phenomenal day. Alex G, $27,000 profit. And T, 82% profit return. So this was all called out within the watch list and then within the real-time trade alert section. I also had another great trade on Rivian puts. We're going to be recapping the trades towards the end of this video. So if you want to learn how to consistently make money within the strategy, if you want to learn how we're able to buy puts on the top of these stocks, it's crazy. Yesterday, you could have bought SPY puts at the gap close reversal level at the high of day at 447.57. And then in terms of today, you could have used the same strategy on Tesla at the 1,091 gap close reversal level. We called that out in yesterday's video as well. So I'm gonna teach you how this gap close reversal strategy works. It's a gap close reversal to fill the gap below. It's a 2-part strategy. I'm gonna share with you that towards the end of this video. We're also gonna be going over how to trade the best setups at the best prices. Tomorrow is Friday. It's going to be a very lucrative trading day as we have contracts that are expiring tomorrow. They're going to be a lot cheaper. They're going to be a lot more volatile, right? So let the percentage return of the contract do the work for you and scale back on your position size, the dollar amount you would normally put into the contracts, right? Because if you trade these, they're going to be a lot more volatile. They're going to be a lot more riskier in a sense, but you can make a very lucrative percentage return and you could scale back on your position size to offset that risk. So I'm going to be giving you a very important update on the best setups to be trading. So let's kind of go over this, right? And if you do want to be a part of Trader Society, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. All the information is explained on that page. As soon as you join, it's a one-time fee. You get lifetime access to the entire program. I'm telling you, we got people who are killing it in there. So in terms of Tesla, what did Tesla do today? Tesla released earnings and it had a gap up. So one thing in terms of my trading style, I don't like holding through news events, right? I don't like holding through things that are out of my control where anything can happen, which is why I decided to lock in my profits way too soon on my Tesla puts, because I don't want to hold through Powell speaking or anything like that, because those guys can manipulate the micro market. Things they say can move the market, and I don't want to be in a situation where that can occur. I want to be trading in a fashion, in a style where I have as much control as possible, where it's just me, my price action. I don't like dealing with news. I don't like dealing with any manipulation. I don't like, people having higher power over my trades, right? So that's the reason in terms of why I wanted to lock in profits so soon as well. But in terms of Tesla, what did it do? It had a massive gap up. So when a stock has a massive gap up, what do we like to do as traders within Trader Society when we see a stock have a massive gap up? You can see right here, Tesla has a lot of support at 977. We have a gap to fill below at 977.20, which is going to be the new best price to buy Tesla for a micro trade, for micro calls. That's where I'm planning to buy it personally. So what do we do when it has a massive gap up like this? This is what we call an overreaction. Tesla had an overreaction, had a massive gap up due to the earnings. And what did it do? It filled a gap. There was a gap to fill at 1,091.26. As you could see, this is a key resistance level with big downside potential where it likes to come back down to 977, right? So this is what we like to do. We like to wait for stocks to have massive gap ups. And then once they fill their higher gap, if we see that gap close level, that gap fill level, the gap close reversal strategy right here, 1,091.26, if we see this level react as a resistance level, we're going to expect Tesla to have a gap close reversal, start to sell off. You can see right here, it went all the way down to 1,027 after gapping down from that key level, right? History repeated itself in a sense. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sell that news and we're going to play for that gap that's waiting to fill below at 977.20. That's what we're going to do, rinse and repeat. That's called a gap close reversal to fill the gap below strategy. The confirmations we're using are very, very simple. When these gaps fill, we're waiting for resistance to form. You got a bearish pin right here. You have a pullback. You have a double top here with lower highs. You have a triple top here with lower highs. It's starting to sell off. All confirmations that it's struggling to break out. Another great confirmation was the SPY, right? So Tesla had a great gap close reversal, just like the SPY did yesterday. If you guys have been watching my videos, we've been discussing to buy puts on the SPY at 447.47, which was the exact high yesterday. You can see right here, same strategy as Tesla. SPY has a gap down, gap to fill right here at key resistance, 447.57. Look at the high yesterday. The high was 447.57. It got crushed, had a nice double top. In terms of today, in terms of SPY puts, we were waiting for the gap fill right here at 451.03. It did not go to 451.03, so I didn't play puts on SPY. But Tesla filled that gap at 1,091 and it showed signs of resistance. We got the bearish confirmations. So I decided to play puts on Tesla instead because SPY did not fill the gap. If you want, you can play partial gap close reversals. If you see this bearish confirmation, this double top come in here, you just have to make sure that it's going to be an amazing key gap fill level, a major resistance, and that it's very, very close to that gap fill level. That's called a partial gap close reversal. That's something I don't like doing, which is why I went with Tesla, and Tesla worked out absolutely phenomenally along with the SPY. You can see right here, and these were actually out of money when I bought these contracts. But if you look at the puts, these weren't that far of the money. They were only like 2 points out of the money when I bought them. This 1,085 strike, these printed like crazy. They went from $16 a contract. So they bottomed at 14.20. The low on these was at 9:51 a.m. 9:51 a.m. was the low of these put contracts. The 1,085 strike that expires tomorrow, right? I alerted these right here at 9:53 a.m. just 2 minutes after the low of day at 16.20. Vic got in at 16.45. He sold at 49. They ended up getting to a high of $85.46. Imagine buying a contract at $1,600 a contract, right? You multiply it by 100, that's the cost of it, and then selling that, flipping that to $8,000 in one single day. We're talking about That's like a 5-6x return. It's absolutely insane what you can do with these put options. So today was definitely the day to hit big, and notice how it happens at the best key levels. So make sure you're not premature shorting, right? And you're using the gap close reversal strategy. Gap close reversal strategy said one of the best prices to buy puts on Tesla was its highest gap at 1,091. And when you see that massive gap up, that overreaction, that resistance come in, that's how you know to buy puts on Tesla. It's such a phenomenal strategy. It gets us in when the gap fills, when we see the confirmations of a reversal. History repeats itself. Last time it went all the way down to 1,027. This time it went all the way down to 996. Absolutely crazy, filling that gap. So that's the strategy, the gap close reversal to fill the gap below. And, we wait for the bearish confirmations, we wait for the bearish resistance. And then in terms of price targets, you can see right here, you have some support at 1,060. That's where I came up with this 1,060 support level. Now, if you were to check history did show that this could go from, you could see right here, 1,091 all the way down to 1,027. So that opportunity to aim for that bigger win, for history to repeat itself, was there. I played it safe, and I didn't want to hold stocks through the whole pile speaking and stuff like that with the Fed. So what's the game plan from here? How are we planning to trade this both ways? So in terms of Tesla, just understand this was a great gap close reversal to fill the gap below opportunity. The absolute best price you can go at is 1,022.09, which is where I made like a 400% return last year buying puts literally right around here using the same exact strategy. There was actually a gap to fill around that zone at the time. Right here, it was actually this year, there was a gap to fill. It partially filled the gap right here. It bought the puts, made like a 400% return. I believe I played it here as well. So 1,022 is going to be the new best price for puts. And then in terms of calls, my level of interest, this is an overreaction, right? Had a gap up, filled the gap, had a reversal. Now we have an overreaction to the downside. So we have a lot of support, but keep in mind, a lot of stocks are blowing through support right now. So I want to see how Tesla reacts at 977.20. 977.20, key support, big upside potential. I want to see how it reacts for a gap close reversal. And just remember, one thing that makes gap close reversals a lot better is when there's a gap to fill in the side of reversal. So what does that mean? That means when Tesla gaps up and it fills this gap, it's a lot better to play it as a reversal now that it gapped up because there's a gap to fill below. So unfortunately for the call side at the moment, there really isn't a gap to fill above. There's one gap to fill above. It's at 1,022, but that's like too far away to really consider a gap to fill above with this trade. So one of the downsides is it's just a gap close reversal. It's not a gap close reversal to fill another gap within the side of that reversal, right? But this should still be a phenomenal trading opportunity. So we're waiting for bullish confirmations at 977.20. And that's where we're looking to buy Tesla calls for a ride back up to about $1,000, right? So that'd be the game plan for Tesla. 1,000 to 1,020 would be the target on that. That's an A1 number one setup. Looking to trade Tesla both ways. Our next stock is American Airlines. This is beginning to look very bearish. You have a lot of resistance right here. It looks like it's trying to go back down to fill this gap at 1948. That's where my target is, 1948 on this stock. When's it going to fill the gap? When it cracks 2010. When it cracks 2010, we're going to see a gap fill to 1948. Once we hit 1948, that is a make it or break it support level with big upside potential. So right now, the play is to buy puts for the key breakdown. Not too much of a great setup because that's only about 60 cents of profit margin. It already had a massive pullback. The real opportunity is going to see how it reacts at 1948 for a gap close reversal. We'll look for a potential gap close reversal. If it cracks, it's going to continue to sell off. If it holds, it's going to pump back to about $20.50 a share. So I want to see how it reacts for that gap that's waiting to fill below. It's a key support level with big upside potential. Like I said, if it cracks, reacts as a resistance, then it's going to be a hard sell-off to the next gap at 1854, right? So just know 1950 is your key support level. If it holds, it's going to push back to 2050. If it cracks, it's going to push back to 1850. Our job is to identify who's in control of that trade, and then we take action. We seize the moment once we have a good understanding with the confirmations we use on who's in control. And if we get stopped out, then we get stopped out, we take a small loss, and we can switch sides if we want, which is something I did on Rivian. I actually started my day off with an L on Rivian when the market opened. I bought calls on this using a gap and go strategy, which is my least favorite strategy. I rarely use it. So Rivian had a gap up in the morning. I tried playing calls for a push, for a break above yesterday's major resistance. You can see right here we got major resistance at $38. If it could push above 38, it's going to rip to about $39.50. I was trying to break out on Rivian. I did end up buying some Rivian calls, as you can see right here. I bought Rivian calls at market open at 9:31 a.m., got in at $1.30, and then I sold very quickly, just 7 minutes later, for a small loss at 114. As soon as I sold my position, I switched sides and I bought Rivian puts a minute after I closed out my long position, and I bought those puts at 97 cents. 37 strike that expires tomorrow. They were up 40%. I made a quick 30% plus on those. Then I bought the Tesla puts and absolutely killed it on that. So in terms of Rivian, right, it had a gap up. It tried to break out. So I got in, it tried to break out, and then it quickly formed resistance. It formed bearish pins. It formed lower highs. So then I got out right here when this bearish pin formed with these lower highs right here for a very, very small loss. The contracts went from 130 to 114. And it's a good thing I did that because they're practically worthless now. And then I switched sides. So you can switch sides. You buy a stock, it's make it or break it on a breakout. I was playing for the breakout. It faked out. It formed lower highs. You don't cry about it. You get out. You switch sides. That's what you got to do. And that's exactly what I did. And I made all my money back and more on my next trade with Rivian. So the win rate doesn't matter. That's a 50% win rate with 2 Rivian trades. I sized in a little bit bigger, and I made a much bigger percentage return than my loss. It was like a 35% percentage return. And these puts absolutely exploded as well. It was the $37 strike. I alerted these at 97 cents. They went to nearly $4 a contract. It's crazy. They went to 362. I alerted these right here at 9:38 a.m. when these were trading at 97 cents, and they just exploded the entire day all the way to 362. Like I said, today was one of those days where you could have made an absolute killing. So this one's on the back burner for now. Not too interested in trading it moving forward. Just kind of wanted to recap the trade. In terms of the strategy that I used, it was the gap fill strategy. I tried for the gap and go breakout. It didn't work out. I noticed lower highs were forming, which is bearish. And then I was playing for this gap to fill below. There was a gap to fill below at 36.23. Now, when these stocks fill their gaps, if they form lower highs, if they start to break down, that's still bearish, and they're going to keep on going down, which is what SPY did. SPY did not have a gap close reversal as well. You can see right here there was no signs of a reversal, meaning you shouldn't have bought SPY at any time. You can visually see as soon as SPY filled the gap, it had a small little bounce, and then it just cracked instantly. And then right here, it turned the previous closing price into resistance. So if you see the previous closing price react as resistance, that's bearish. If you see it react as support, that's bullish. And you can see the initial reaction was very bearish. It cracked through, had a small pop, formed lower highs, cracked through instantly, ripped back up, turned the previous closing price into resistance, and continued to sell off lower. That's a very bearish reaction on the SPY as well. So in terms of our next setup, the main setup that I've given you guys thus far is going to be Tesla calls at $977.20. Tesla calls for a run back up to 1,000. Remember, these are make it or break it trend reversal levels, and we use very, very tight stop losses, right? Like I did with Rivian today. See how I got out very, very quickly, and not only did I get out for a small loss, but I switched sides, went from bullish to bearish. There's nothing wrong with doing that, right? So that's what you got to do. You got to get out very, very quickly when it goes against you, because if they can't work at these levels, then they're just not going to work out. And you don't have to be right. You know, you can switch sides, sizing them a little bigger on the next trade. Like, these trades are killer. As long as you're cutting your losses quickly, the winning potential is here. I'm showing it to you. Just look at what happened with Tesla. So Ader, I'm waiting for a dip buying opportunity at 385. We got a gap to fill at 385. I'm looking for support, a gap close reversal for a run up to about $4.30 to $4.45, right? So I'm waiting to buy Ader stock for a micro trade at 385 for a gap close reversal. That's going to be an A1 phenomenal setup, along with Ader calls there, and then Tesla calls at 977.20. CASA. I think we can have a gap close reversal when we head back to 389. So once we go to 389, I'm interested in buying this stock for a micro trade with a max risk of $3.68. That's the game plan. I think we could see a gap close reversal. I like the setup. There's a gap to fill above at 710. You got key support with big upside potential. So I'm waiting for a gap close reversal, a dip buying opportunity on CASA stock, CASA, at $3.89. So that's 3 so far. We got CASA to buy at 389. We got Tesla calls at 977.20. And then we also have Ader calls at 385. Those are going to be the top setups heading into, within time. They will hit those levels within time, right into next week. If not, then into May. So our next setup is going to be SPY. Let's kind of go over SPY. SPY had a massive red day today. It partially filled this gap here, had a reversal, and got absolutely crushed. This is a pretty big red day. So with that being said, our key support on the SPY is going to be at 436.65 and 435.61, right? So you got about a dollar zone right there. You could see futures are already selling off. SPY has dropped to about 435.88 at the moment. So in terms of where it's at right now, SPY is literally at right here. So that's going to be our make it or break it level. What I want you to understand is SPY is on track to gap down tomorrow. It closed at 438.06, which is key support. Right now it's gapping down, trading towards the low of this support level. So it's make it or break it. If it cracks this 435.60, we're going to be on track for a pullback to about $433.19. If it cracks that, then it gets really ugly and it goes to 430 to 428, 429 in between that zone. Now, if we can bottom out between 435.60 and 433.19, if SPY can bottom out in between that zone, form some support, we will be on track for a gap fill play to 438.06. Now, say SPY sells off tomorrow, it goes to the low 430s like it's currently dropping during extended hours, right? If we rip back up to 438.06, that's going to be previous support. We already cracked that support. So if that previous support right here, 438.06, that gap fill level turns into a resistance, SPY puts will be in play for a gap close reversal to ride this back down to the low 430s. So the best thing you could do tomorrow with stocks is, I want you to understand right now with stocks, they took a beating, absolute bloodbath today. Best thing we could really do, they're on track to already gap down tomorrow. So just wait for them to rip back up to the closing price of today, to the previous closing price, right? And if they react as a resistance level, that's going to be an opportunity to buy puts where previous support is now reacting as resistance, therefore it goes lower and it starts to drop, and that previous closing price, 438.06, could be the high for tomorrow. That's what you want to do heading into tomorrow. So when you see these stocks have their massive moves down like that and they crack their support, best thing you can do, wait for them to shoot back up to that previous closing price, see if that previous support, that gap close reversal level, can react as a resistance. If so, then that's confirming that the bears are in control and the stock's going to continue to sell off. So that's where we're at in terms of the state of the market right now. Stocks are blowing through key support levels. We're waiting for them to shoot back up to their previous support, to the previous closing price, to the gap close reversal level, to buy the puts if it reacts as a resistance level. That would be the game plan with the SPY. The big day to make the money was today, but tomorrow could be a phenomenal opportunity. Plus the contracts expire the same day. So what I'm telling you is tomorrow could be a great opportunity for puts if we rip back up to the previous closing price. Okay, so our next stock is going to be Airbnb. Airbnb got crushed as I was expecting it to. There was a gap to fill at 160.11. I told you guys it's on track to fill the gap. Airbnb has filled the gap. A great gap close reversal right here. And then it comes back down to fill the gap below, just like Tesla. Not too interested in watching this one moving forward, but that make it or break it support is going to be 157.70. VERU had a gap close reversal today. There was a gap to fill at a 1264. It's having a reversal. I'm still waiting for the gap to fill at $14.95. If it fills, it fills. I'll play puts. If not, then I'm just going to sit on the sidelines for this one. VERU is overall bearish. And then our last two stocks are going to be Netflix and SST. Man, for those of you who stay to the end of this video, you get rewarded with these great setups. So Netflix, last time this had negative earnings, it bottomed on day 2. You can see it even went lower on day 2, then it bottomed out, and then a couple days later it shot back up. So in terms of Netflix, history is repeating itself. It's already going lower, just like it did on day 2. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to buy some leaps. I want to buy some midterm, some call leap options on Netflix. I'm bullish. I want to, ride this back up to at least like $270, $250, $270 at $250, $270 at least, right? So I'm waiting for a dip buy an opportunity on Tesla. There's still no bullish confirmations yet. So I'm waiting for these bullish candlesticks to come in. I'm waiting for this pin to come in right here. I'm waiting for Netflix to look like our next stock, which is going to be SST. This stock is due for a reversal. You can see right here we got a very bullish chart coming in. In terms of this setup, this will be the gap fill strategy on the long side. You got a lot of support right here in the 1370s, a lot of support. You had a green day come in yesterday prior to a massive gap down from 2045, which is the best price to buy puts for a gap close reversal. And now you have a bullish pin coming in. So I want you to think of your make it or break it level in terms of breaking out. What we're looking for is, you can see we got all the support in the lower 13s. We're waiting for an opportunity to buy the breakout. And the breakout is going to be above 14. If this can go above 14, it's going to start to run to fill that gap. In terms of how high is it going to run to, it'll be on track to really run into the 15, the 16s. There's a gap breakout strategy at 1670. Once it goes above 1670, there's no resistance. There's a gap to fill at 2045. So once it can go above 1670, that's when it's going to break out and really start to fill that gap. But the point is, at some point in time, this is due for a spike. You can see right here when it forms these green candles, when it forms these pins towards the support level like it's doing right now, green candle forms the pin, it rips up within time. And I think we're due for a rip up. It's just going to take some time. So I'm keeping this stock on my radar to buy the breakout once it looks strong, once the volume comes in, right? The volume's fading right now. That's the problem. But once we can get some volume coming in, or a positive catalyst or something, I'm going to be interested in buying the breakout on this stock. So that is going to be it. So our top setups heading into tomorrow are going to be Ader, SPY, SST, Tesla, American Airlines. Those are going to be the top ones. We still have price alerts on the back burner. Remember I told you these stocks would crash? Look at Limit. Limit took a bloodbath. The puts absolutely printed like crazy today, up over 500% on the puts. Remember I told you now's the time to buy some midterm puts on Limit. Stock got absolutely crushed. The watch list had so many banners today, along with the trade alerts today. The watch list had so many banners. Another thing that I've been doing is pre-market shares. With Webull, you can buy shares in the pre-market at 4 a.m. as soon as it opens. I've noticed that a lot of these gainers, they like to rip at 4 a.m. It's this new 4 a.m. trading strategy that I've been using. I used it today on CRXT. I bought this at 228. It shot up to like 260. I got out in the 250s, making a quick 7% return on that. That was made at 4:06 a.m. I've noticed a lot of the top gainers, if you pick the right one, a strong stock, they like to have morning rips at at the pre-market at like 4 a.m. They like to have spikes, and then they'll typically sell off. You could see right here, this was Redbox. Redbox right around 4:03 a.m. had a gap up, and it had the rip. It went from 270 to 340, up over 30% within that time. And then you can see they like to sell off. It sold off back to 250. Then it had a gap close reversal. Look at that, it bottomed at the gap close reversal level. Then it shot up to 385. CRXT was another one. This is the one that I played. You can see right here in the pre-market at 4:03 a.m. This was trading at 220s. Just a couple minutes later, shoots up to 258. So if you're using Webull, you could trade in the pre-market. Check this out. It had a gap close reversal in the pre-market. There was a gap to fill below at $2.08. It filled the gap at 208, filled the gap at 208, shot up to new highs at 270, had a gap close reversal in the pre-market. That's what I've noticed as well. Gap close reversals work phenomenal in the pre-market trading session as well. So be aware of that. You can trade shares, not just options. You could trade shares in the pre-market starting at 4 a.m. with Webull. So that's another strategy that I've been using. But yeah, those are the best setups at the best prices. Thank you guys so much for staying until the end of this video. We're gonna have a phenomenal trading day lined up. There should be some new good opportunities that come along as well throughout the top gainers. And tomorrow is gonna be a great day to be trading as the contracts expire on Friday. So if you do wanna join Trader Society, it's the first link down below in the description. Once you join, once you sign up, you get instant lifetime access to the entire program, to the live trading sessions that we do every single day at market open on live stream, to the chat room, to the members within the chat room where you can network with us and ask us questions, and we'll help guide you throughout trading. And you also get access to the video lesson library where you learn the gap trading strategies, how to trade both ways, how to trade the best setups at the best prices both ways, all the confirmations we use, all the indicators we use, risk management and position sizing, mindset and psychology to trading, all of those lessons within the video lesson library where you'll learn the gap trading method system. You also get access to direct messaging, the members, myself, and the members within the chat room. And there's a lot more to it. You get the real-time trade alerts as well, not for you to follow, just for you to use as a scanner and for education to see what it is that I'm doing in real time. So that is going to be the opportunity. It's the first link down below in the description to join Trader Society. I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open.